Greetings, everyone. It's me, Wrestler, and welcome to Universim. I've done this game quite a few times on the channel, actually. There are previous videos of it. But, it seems like every single time I do it, it updates again. Um, I've had this game since before it was even available on Steam when you had to download the launcher from, I think it's Crytivo, or I'm not sure how you say the developer's name, Crytivo. It's interesting, but they continually update it, which is fine. I'm not complaining. Um, it just makes all your former save files no longer valid. But they recently had the moon update where now you can go to the moon or other planets and such. And they've done a lot of work to update it. They've gotten rid of some systems and they've added some systems. I remember for a while they didn't have a save system, and you had to build a particular building to get a save system. If you're unfamiliar with Universim, I would encourage you to pop over to Steam and take a look at it. I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, so basically, you're on a planet that's like Earth, basically, and you start at the very beginning. And see, these are your little people. They're called Nuggets. There's a fun narrator, but basically, you have a research tree, a very extensive one. I mean, this thing goes, for a while. And basically, you're trying to make sure they survive. And there are seasons, there's temperatures that affect things. I mean, right there's the temperature, and there's and they build their they build. You place almost all the buildings, but like when it comes to a temple or houses, that's all of them, and they gather resources here, um, and build things. You have god powers that look like this. You can lift things up, make people fall in love, heal them. Um, your list grows. You get points to use them. You get quests sometimes from them, or requests, and then to use your power to do something. But basically, you're trying to make sure these people survive. There's also a narrator that says things and sometimes belittles you, but it's all in good fun, so to speak. So, anyways, so this is the very beginning of the game. You choose a place to place this. The evolution tower is what they call it, and so it's here. Um, and then you go from there. So I chose this location because one, there's a huge body of water, which is good, and then there's a mountain with stones, and there's a pretty nice forest nearby, um, so that they can get resources from. Anyways, it's paused right now, so let's go to it. So that's out of hay. Like I said, there's the narrator. He's pretty funny. He says really funny stuff at times, um, so to speak. So, anyways, so in terms of research, this pauses me research. I'm researching water wheel to get water going, and then I got the toolkit because this helps the repair things, and then I got this for reservoirs so we can store water, and then I got fire. And then, so, anyways, this is not necessarily the best way to do things. I'm not real. This is the way I'm doing things. Some people do other things. I've seen some people rush to fishing as quick as possible. But the point is, you can research just about anything. Water is essential, though. Okay, so I love the narrator. He's pretty funny at times. So, and now I was thinking to myself, so why he was talking, why do water? Because they can just go down and drink at the lake, which is, or yeah, the body of water, lake, big, big, big ocean, whatever. And that's true. They can go down and drink from there, but it's more of a matter of I need a water pump so I can pump water, not only to buildings. Some buildings require water. Um, in the end, it will pump to houses much later on, but that so it will be there. It'll be useful at that point. Let me get the let's see here. Let's get that going. So and but also what's furthermore is if you have a water pump, you can have a reservoir and you can store water for when the winter months come and they can't drink from the lake because it's frozen. So let's build it right here. So here's so I guess a quest. So here's the quest. Dear creator, we don't mean to sound like we're complaining, but we're having a tough time doing all the work that with just two of us. Is there any way we can expand our civilization? Maybe being in a few extra helping hands. I sincerely hope there's an easy way of going about this, one that does not involve months of discomfort and weird cravings, followed by hours of excruciating pain. Kind regards, Elu. So you get the so use the Cupid creator to increase the population of civilization. Receive two believers. Receives. I'm on it. So that's the one. It selects it. So you go control here and him. So this is the this is where the funny part comes from it. So she's gonna head home, as is he, and and as you see, it starts shaking. Now here's something funny. If you zoom in, the narrator usually says something. I'm sorry if I laugh too much. It's just I find things that he says just funny at times. Well, while they're doing that, let me show you the telekinesis power. This is fun. So, uh, the quest. Dear creator, we are struggling to agree on names for our little ones, and he keeps wanting to call them something trivial like stick and stone, about ready to break his bones. I suggest some more appropriate names, but the believers I'm trying, but he believes I'm trying too hard. Can you please help us sell this? I'm on it. So let's see here. Here's Stone. Let's just give her that name because why not? And then where's the other one? Okay, that's the one I stick. Here we go. Let's go with Jack. Thank you. We are truly an inspiration. We can have ever concocted such amazing names on their own. Nadia and Jack fit them perfectly. They will carry those names as long as they live, and Nuggets will use them as a benchmark for generations to come. Oh, okay. Not sure if that's a good thing. Anyways, something you might not notice the telekinesis power. Maybe you did, but I'll show you again. Um, this is what you can do with the telekinesis power. So you can help build things. So they need more stone. Well, that can be achieved. Just lift that stone up and drop it down, and more stone. Now you see him. He's running scared because he saw that happen in front of him. So it's nice to have them, know that you're powerful, but scaring them like that, not something you should make a habit out of. It's fun to do at times just for comedic relief, but it's also something if they're too afraid of you, it can have negative consequences. But not right now usually. But yeah, it is fun sometimes to have a nugget walking and lift up a giant boulder right in front of them and watch them run because all of a sudden a boulder came out of the ground. So, who are you? That is Elu. Okay, or Elu. So you have this evolution tower. You have Adahe deadline. Well, Adahe, and that's his deadline. No laws. So every now and then there'll be an election. There'll be three candidates, and they'll be here, and all the Nuggets will vote. And each of them will have a platform to stand on. Like one will be like, no contraception ban. Sorry, contraception ban. So like improve population. Another one will be like double rations for everyone, and then somebody else will be like, something. Anyways, and so you can go there. You can try and influence, um, like Nuggets, but to vote for somebody. I actually have lost doing that, so it doesn't mean they'll necessarily vote, but it does help, and it's fun to watch the turn up, and then that person is in charge, is elected and in charge for about 30 minutes, I think, or so, and then another election takes place, and sometimes, not usually, but but sometimes they'll run again. So, but usually they don't. So we got 17 to 21. So you can prioritize buildings, but I'm not going to prioritize this building because, well, it's the only building being built. So there's no point in prioritizing it because there's not any other project going on. So, um, anyways, yeah. So it tells you who's supporting it, and then it will tell you who's constructing it after that. So they're going to build it. Thank you. Let's get utensils on the docket. So what just happened was it researched this. The engineers had engineers. You can see they have this huge sphere. Engineers repair buildings, so it is somewhat essential to have this building researched because while you can rejuvenate buildings with your god powers, you might want to save those points to use it for other things, and whereas your engineers can do it uh, quickly. So let's. These roads are also not concrete; they're estimated. So you want to try and do it again along the road, so to speak. So he doesn't say that right if you build a water pump. Usually he says that in the summer. It just happened to happen at the same time. So it's 28 Celsius. Goodness gracious, that is warm. 20. Well, it's 26 now. Another way you can change it to Fahrenheit. I just like Celsius. Um, 28 Celsius is, you're getting pretty warm up in like the 90s or so. And your reservoir that you build, why it doesn't produce, it can have the distinction of evaporating. So, anyways, we'll get this engineer hut going. Let's see, get some stone there. This is your cursor, by the way. This thing that trails around. Uh, and so, anyways, and there are these animals here. Sometimes they're hostile, like they're wolves and things like that. Um, but there's also, bears and things like that. Not all of them are necessarily hostile because it's kind of like a dawn, creation type thing. If you ever played Dawn of Man, you'll notice that animals keep to themselves uh, for the most part. Um, unless you invade their space. So this bear is, yeah, it's not like the creature. Keep in mind the creatures in this world don't necessarily look like normal creatures. So here's the here's the whale. eventually you can build a hunter's type structure, and they'll go after animals. Water flow study complete. So now let's build the reservoir. So that's what it's going to look like later on. This is what it looks like at this stage. Um, so let's build it right, come on, right here. It doesn't need to be necessarily close to this. It just kind of makes sense, though. That's rotating. Okay. So they're going to finish that, and okay. Ukraine, my friend A, has a particularly pleasant face, but it's somewhere looking worse lately. I haven't seen such a shade of green before in my life. I tried to find a witch doctor, but by some sort of medical conference, someone apparently discovered a better method. So they're all riled up. I can't stand the idea of losing my dear friend. I only have one. You're getting worse by this. Anything you can do to help? So yes, you have rejuvenate. So let's assign Jack. Really? Okay. Take your word for it. There we go. So anyway, so that's something that you'll get from time to time. So I healed him, and that gets you, and that sometimes gets you things like it said Antique Alley, which is, I believe, recreation. Yeah, it's a park. It needs things that we don't produce yet. It needs bricks and planks. We don't have bricks or planks. We have stone and we have logs. So bricks and planks are refined resources that come later. So we got Jack here, who's an engineer, and he's preparing for a date. Ooh. So other nuggets might just randomly show up at times. So Jack's preparing for a date, um, possibly with someone who is not on the map yet. Although he's waiting for his partner. That could be Nadia, for all I know. No, here's Nadia. Anyways, as nuggets produce new nuggets, houses will show up. Where they are, you can't really place. Like I said, you can't place them. So the idea is to kind of build in such a way that kind of encourages the residential area. This right next to the shore doesn't happen necessarily all that often. Sometimes, usually, it's out here, unless the update did something about it. So sometimes, if you can build industry or something in such a way, like if I built it all over here, kind of where this reservoir is, they kind of build houses this way. So you kind of watch where the houses are, and you kind of build away from them to encourage them to continue building where there are houses because you're taking space on the other side. But it's going to be jumbled probably for a while. Jack's over there waiting for a partner. Everyone else, though, all the other three are all working. They get the reservoir up. So let's see here. So Nadia's preparing for a date too. He's heading home. And okay. So here's the reservoir. Plus 28 right now because the water pump is working. So the idea is to get this as full as possible. Um, you know, because it will go down during the winter. So we got so it's getting pretty full pretty quickly. And the good thing is the AI doesn't drink from this; they drink from here until winter comes, and then they have to drink from that. So, brand new nuggets. Excellent. Who do we got? We got, right, okay. Yeah, so we got Yum Lava and some, what? Dear creator, heard that you have the power to create miracles. I've been trying to build a hut for Elu and myself to live in. But I fear that I have thrown my back out with all the heavy lifting, and I can hardly lift my hammer now, let alone collect all the resources I still need. If I could get a few more materials, we can finally finish our dream home. I think Elu might leave me if I don't. I thought you had a house. Isn't this? Yeah, I agree. You have a house. Okay, well. Anyways, this is I'm not sure why he needs a house. I thought he had one. So this is basically where they're telling you to use your telekinesis powers, which I showed you guys. So no problem. Let's go over here. Let's find a tree. Usually, sometimes you can find trees that have 3 wood. Guess not. We'll just lift this tree up. Lift that. Okay. We'll lift that. This. Hey, hello. This tree. No. That. Okay. So and I know there's 5 stone things here. That. Oh, a temple. We'll get to that in a minute. Done. Okay, so the temple. This is also built once they kind of like you, I guess, or so to speak. This is how many believers you have, right? There are 6 nuggets total. There's 4 adults, 2 children. All 6 believe in you. That's great. The temple is built by somebody else. Now you can assign who works here in terms of like prayer, people who pray, but you can't. But the temple is like a house. You can't choose where they place it, but they place it. So, I think eatery was researched, so I remember where it is. There it is, eatery. So, dining. Basically, this is how they eat. It's a restaurant. So, gosh, they're putting the house over here. Okay, well, I guess that means they're kind of settling near the shore. So, let's see if we can build further inland. Let's see if we should probably place this near kind of where things are, where the temple in that house is, so kind of a central location. So let's go like that. I'm going to assign Adahe to this too. So now you'll see ages of certain people. So oops, I'll show you in a minute. Um, Sometimes this happens too. There'll be two. They'll build a residential. It'll be 2 things. Notice Adahe asked for the quest for the dream home, and still lives here. So Adahe's family. So it will show ages of nuggets. It'll be something like 2 or 5, and they can work, and you're like, but they're 2 and they're 5. I'm not. I'm not sure how the aging process works or why those ages. But it's a thing. So see, these are kids. They'll get old enough eventually. So why are you drinking from the reservoir? Okay. It's fall. So this might be an update. It might be a thing to the point of like, hey, like the reservoir like has clean water or something like that. So let's prioritize that eatery. Let's get people working with the eatery going. Okay, so let's get fishing on the docket. By the time they get to fishing, it should probably be time to build a fishing hut again. Um, Water dowsing is coming along. So down here, you'll see this. These are discovery points. Um, it's it's hard to read that. Basically, you get discovery points by doing certain things. Quests give you discovery points. Also, sending your nuggets out in expeditions to explore, which comes later, will earn you discovery points. And discovery points are things that you use in research that for research projects that are instant discovery. Like it's not like there's a some some research things take 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever. Discovery are things that happen instantly. So they're on the queue, but when it comes to them, it's like instantaneous. An example being this cooking oils, 25 discovery points, right? It will happen instantly. So you see the zero time it will take to do it. So we're gonna put that on the docket, and cooking oils basically just make the food better, and such, so to speak. And so the nuggets get an extra bonus when they eat it. So let's help them out here by going like that. And let's get some wood for them to on that project there. So you see here, and you want to pay attention to who's building the temple, because that's for somebody you probably want to assign as the prayer. Now Elu, um, usually she's the one building the temple. I usually assign her as prayer, but she's not always the one building the temple. I've seen Adahe build the temple before. So anyways, you pay attention to it. So she's building the temple. So it's good, it's a good bet that she was the one who came up with the idea. Um, I love my job. I'm glad you love your job, because that's what you're going to be doing the rest of your life. So you see this right here. Still plus 28. Um, 19 of 30. It's um, it's actually really good. Eventually, you'll get to a point where you'll need like a couple different reservoirs, because the one that you have will be getting close to full. Like this is at 20 out of 30. Um, so it's getting there. And there's Adahe repairing the water pump, or maintaining the water pump. It's not broken yet. Here's your eatery. Did you? Good to know. So let's take a look here. Okay. So one thing you'll find is I'm a bit of a completionist. I like to get all of this done before moving on. Now, some of these things I can't get done. This requires something that's way down here. Um, yeah, because it needs cooking utensils, needs town hall. So town hall's right here, so not a problem. It's just there's some of these other things that to get to them you need material refinement, which is right here. And it makes sense because material refinement, it allows a lot of these things to be built, because material refinement unlocks building like things that process wood into planks, or process stone into bricks, or other things like that. Um, so there are some things that you can't complete, but I'm going to try and complete as much as possible before moving on to these, because eventually research really can get out of hand. You know, especially when you get to this area, it webs out everywhere. So you want to do as much of a line as you can. So like when I get here, I'm probably going to try and do as many of these as possible, um, before moving on. And once I hit material refinement, I'm probably going to be going back to pick up all these. But anyways, they used to have a well wells that you'd have to build all, and they dot all over the place, for water. And I think they came to the conclusion, because they removed wells outright, that that really was kind of ridiculous, or just too much of a problem. Okay, let's have Nadia be a cook. We got Kelsuka. Okay. Mm, Temple is operational. Nice. So let's have Elu pray. So this tells you how they feel about you. So do they love you or are they afraid of you? So it looks like it's more the love thing. They really, really like you. Cooking utensils, research complete. Okay. Let's task up. Let's see here. Looks like we got everything that we can get tasking. Um, okay, let's do storage areas as the thing that we'll do, and you'll see another more discovery point things coming up. So, storage areas. I think once we get to, I think we'll hold off on queuing. Once we get to storage areas, then we'll queue up a bunch of more things. Because sometimes you want to wait, you want to hold off on queuing up too much because you might have needs. Like there was one time, for example, where I don't know what it was, but my nuggets got sick, and so basically I just rushed to get the shamanism research, which allows you to build a hospital. Um, but so you want to queue up, but you at the same time you want to make sure that you're researching in a way that you can handle emergencies. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're like, well, I have to sacrifice this research for this one because of the current thing, but I'm going to need that one. It's why I get the water situation sorted out because they can eat easily from berries and things like that. Whereas water is more of a essential type storage thing. So where are you going? Oh, okay, yeah, like I said, going to gather food. Um, Nuggets will go here and they'll eat. Nadia's cooking. Um, but at the same time, she's one person. There are 7 people, and she can't do it all by herself. Now, eventually, you'll be able to upgrade this and unlock another worker. And but you usually will build more than one eatery. Like you'll build one more than one reservoir, which we should probably get to going because this reservoir is extremely efficient, or this water pump. Um, so to actually get that tasked, actually let's cancel that. I think I actually, yeah, I think I actually put that on the middle of a road. Um, there. Um, so anyways, and you'll notice that it doesn't tell you what resources you have. I mean, it does down here, but it doesn't really matter because they bring the resources as it comes. This will matter to the point where when you have like a storage warehouse, that's when they'll start storing things like this. They have more stone, more wood, and you look at this, and you go, oh, like this and this, wow, okay, um, but looking at the resources necessarily isn't important because if what they don't have, they'll bring by themselves, um, and from what they don't have in the storage, they'll harvest and bring by themselves. So the resource thing down there is useful to a point, um, but at the same time, I I I honestly can say I haven't paid attention to very much. So so we got the oh man, the reservoir is full, which is good. As you see, it's getting very very cold. We're at -3 Celsius, -2. So it's going up, and we're down. Now it went down -4. So it's cold, and you can see snow starting to form, and eventually this will freeze over. But it's still producing, so that's really good right now. Oh, there's a leaf. I will say this about this game, as basic nothing, as basic as it is at times. Um, it's very pretty. Um, so what am I staring at? I'm just watching them go to work. Um, yeah, so Elu's praying. Um, You also want to make sure you have people who are laborers. So, yeah, we'll just let Elu pray. Some buildings, when you have tons of laborers, oh, trust me, I have a lot of water. So, as you can see, it doesn't necessarily mean everything is frozen over, but near the shoreline, things have come to a standstill as there's snow. As it is winter, and it is zero output. So, rain, or it needs water. You can actually, there is actually a creator power. It comes later on. I'll take your word for it. I'll Google that later. But anyway, so you got this, and there actually is a creative power later on where you can actually call rain down, which is somewhat amusing to watch. Um, and usually you call it down right off your reservoirs, and they fill up pretty quickly. So as you see here, this is our one that was full 29 out of 30. It probably won't go. It probably will go down probably 2018 or so. It depends how much winter holds on once we get more towards closer to spring. You're going home. You're both. Yeah, okay. I think we know what's about to happen. Yep. Interesting to see. I'm trying. I'm looking. I'm house hunting. I'm seeing if anybody's building a house right now. So it doesn't look like they are. So it's the long winter. So well shot framework. I bet you said there weren't um, wells. There aren't. This basically makes more people able to use the reservoir, and it speeds up how much the reservoir refills, so to speak. So the name of Kabunu has arrived. They're a little too small and squishy to put to work just yet, though. So you notice at times you don't have you don't have a use for your creative points. So that's why I got 226. But you take a look. There's Telekinesis. There's Jolt of Joy. That's always needed. There it is. There's the trickle effect. There's also Forestation, Holy Ground. What's Holy Ground do? Oh yeah. And then there's Kickstart that gets people back to work. Jolt of Joy is something that's nice to use to make everyone happy. Um, you know, and it's something that I usually try and do. Right, like it's once the winter is over, kind of like but they're very happy right now. So, um, what's the temple thinking? Okay, Jolt of Joy, you just basically click anywhere on the ground and activate, and everyone's happy. Um, very happy temporarily if you need that. Trickle effect is good to have if you're like, okay, we're going to be getting close to winter here. We don't have a lot of stored water. Forestation's good to replant trees. Forestation is also good just to add natural beauty. Like you could use it here and just plant a bunch of trees. That'd probably freak out. Yeah, forestation is something that doesn't scare people actually. If trees just suddenly sprout from the ground, They might be a little, they might raise a few eyebrows, but they're not going to go running scared that trees just happen to grow instantaneously. Actually, you know what? Let's do some forestation. I'll show you what I mean. So it says one, but it's based on how many trees you add. So actually let's do it over here. So you go like this, and you go, okay, so 20 creation points, boom, trees, more trees. Doesn't always work. You would be wrong. We're not going there with that. But nice thought in mind. Let's get fishing research, shall we? So boy, negative 20 Celsius. Boy, is it cold. See the fires. You can see that bonfire burning. Um, I want to keep everyone really warm uh, in these type of conditions. Uh, Comment if 22 Celsius is nothing to you. I'm sure there are some of you that are going 22 Celsius. Man, more in shorts. Or, boy, is that nice. One thing I want to point out here, I can't find anybody that has it. You have a nugget here, and they have this right here, neutral. So, but now nuggets will have side effects at times. They'll either be gluttons, so they're really good at making food. But you'll see like super hard worker, glutton, um, things like that, or weak or something like that. So sometimes or true believer, like really faith based. So sometimes you'll want to put workers that have those traits. For example, there was one time where Jack was superhuman strength, uh, and I made him the engineer. I've made him engineer since then. But like there was one time where Nadia was was not a very good cook, but there was somebody who's a glutton who they eat extra, but it makes them really good cooks, so I put them in there. Or I had I can't remember the name. It was something rather strange, but they were a massive true believer, so I put them in the temple to help them shepherd people along um, and such. So there is that. Let's add a young person to pray. Um, so there are things like that you'll encounter people who have certain skills who should be in certain roles, um, so to speak. Um, there's some people who are super overworkers. I had somebody who was I can't remember what it was. They had like some I think it was like fish or something like that. They were really good at water, so I made them the fishermen because I was like, well, you like water. And I don't know. Now it said something. I can't remember what it was about water. It didn't make them a better fisherman, so to speak. But I thought it just worked. And there's the frozen body of water I was talking about. Ice. So boy. Okay, so it's not 24 Celsius negative. But it's not 24 below anymore, but it's still pretty cold. Um, Negative 17 Celsius. So eventually you can get a weather tower, so to speak, um, that will kind of lay out the temperatures over the next coming couple days or months, so to speak, so you'll know what's coming. It'd be like, boy, it's 15 Celsius, but the weather tower will be like, yes, but it's going to be 9, so it's going to warm up. So you're like, okay, but um, currently right now it's very much a toss up. So it's negative 14 now. So we're -13. So we're on the way back up. Um, but that's what. Oh, there it is. What is it? I'm begging you for help. Our family is in complete shambles. Nemu was playing outside just a minute ago. I usually have my eye on him, but I got distracted by our neighbor's lizard barking for the fifth time today. I keep telling them to put it in the other yard. When I look back, Nemu was gone. One of the couriers says they saw him chasing a butterfly into the woods. There are wolves in there. My wife is going to kill me. Um, find him. We'll be grateful. Okay, okay. Now this quest is pretty easy to do. So you just go, okay, that's him. Click on him. Wolves surrounding him. And pick him up. Pick up the wolf, I guess. You're actually supposed to pick him up. I mean, picking up a wolf and dropping it to kill it also works, but there are 3 wolves. So when you have him, you don't want to kill him, so you zoom in as much as you can. You drop him right there. There. He's okay. Yeah. So you found the lost nugget. Okay. So see, that's another God action. Everyone's super happy. They love you. Oh, they love you without question. Wow. Okay. So you got this going on. You got research coming quite along pretty quickly. Fishing is almost done. Okay. So fishing's done, and you notice that it's already onto storage because that was instantaneous. So let's get some things planned. Let's go with the hospital and burial while we're at it, and then we'll go over here. We'll grab that, and we'll get town hall going. So how it goes? Okay. So we're at -4 Celsius, so it's getting warmer. I mean, it's shocking. I mean, now it's -6, but still, it's a far cry from -24. So -2. So I think spring is trying to break out. Is it Tia has just been or something? I don't know what they're getting into. Yeah. So we got 2 children. Okay, and 12 believers. Yeah. We're at 0 right now. So this is where you start playing your fishing hut. Is that actually really okay? That's somewhat worrisome. There. One thing I've learned, I don't know if they fixed it yet, but or if they're going to, maybe it's not a thing that you fix, is that you don't want to put the fishing thing near the near the water pump necessarily. Like it's okay here, but too close, and it interferes with water. You want to put it here, because if you put it here, they're going to go right here where the water comes from. Whereas you put it here, the trajectory they'll be out here fishing. So in their boat. Um, yeah, unlike other city builders, in the fishing pier here, they actually go out and fish. I'm not saying all city builders are bad, but don't have that. But a lot of city builders, you build a fishing hut, and you think they're going to go out and fish, and then they're standing on the dock the entire time, and you're like, okay, like, why do you have, and there's a boat at the dock, and you're thinking, so that boat, can you use it, Now you'll notice something here at the reservoir you might noticed it. This one's not going up. This one's going up. It prioritizes the one that's the most empty. So this one's got 22, and this one's got, significantly less. So once this one gets full, it will go to this one. So that's how things go in terms of how resources are produced and managed and looked over at times. So it looks like we got another house coming up. So this is kind of where they're going. This direction. Okay, makes sense. The eatery's right there. It's like, yeah, you want to build right next to the food. Um, and I put a forest over here. That doesn't necessarily deter them. So this house is a bit of an anomaly. So this is what I mean by houses. Where a house is going? Well, they're going over here right now, and they may build here. They may build more into here. Building right up into the mountain, though, is interesting. Gosh, this house is going to take forever. There's so many things to remove. Is anyone actually working on this? Oh, two people are. Okay, well, have fun. Your house is, yeah, it's got a, you got all the resources to build it, which is great, except for the fact that you can't start building it because you have to get rid of everything. And I would knock down a bunch of trees, but they're standing right there, and that would scare them to death. So you don't particularly want to do that necessarily. So I'd love to grab some of these resources, though. Let's see if I can get this one without. To a point. What? Hmm. Usually he says that when you're low in creator points, um, or power, but I got tons of it. I'm gonna try and help get this, shepherd this thing along. If I can sneak another one out of here. Oh, someone saw it. There we go. That should actually let's just see if we can finish off the rest of the construction or stone need. Let's grab 3 stone. That's what they needed. Okay. Let's scroll all the way over here and throw that down. So all they need is wood. Oh, they got the wood. Okay, well, now they can just build a fishing hut. So you notice over here, this is going rather a bit slowly. Oh, storage areas, very useful. Or you build a warehouse. Now, a warehouse is something you probably want to have um, more than one of. So let's put it over here. Let's put it near the, actually, yeah, let's put it near the temple. Can't hurt. And then you probably want to place a second one as well, because the current warehouse will not hold everything. Um, so you might actually want to place it here. Oh, let's assign a nugget. Let's see, what's that? What are you? You're a workaholic. Okay, yeah. Mm. you know, the more food, the better. So yeah, workaholic all the way. Oh, they're building it. they finally got rid of most of the stuff. So, uh, okay, so I hope this didn't take someone's house away or house plans, but oh well. So, yep, rowing out to go fishing. So how we doing on water here? It's looking good. And it's done. Uh, uh, okay, we know where that's leading. I'll help you out with that warehouse. So they named us Halpstein or something. Okay, so let's build the hospital. I believe that's under the defense department, right? Yeah, hospital. Okay, Nugget defense. So, um, let's actually see if we can build it kind of in a, well, let's put it near the eatery. Since hospital food is always somewhat meh, uh, no, um, no, nothing about hospitals. I respect medical workers without a shadow. They are heroes, in my opinion. Let's put it right here, actually. Yeah, that's good. I used to, as a joke, put the burial site right next to the hospital, just to be like, haha. But lately, I've thought, well, it might be not such a bad idea to put the burial thing near the temple. They're not loving me that much. Well, that can be fixed. Jolts of joy. Now everyone's extremely happy. Mm. So jolts of joy will last for 10 minutes. Um, we got here. So you see, once they reach the same thing, they'll go back and forth about on production, but they will both be producing. So that's something that it has fun with. Fish quantity is 100%. Work harder. So you see, there's the storage. It's already getting pretty packed. Um, 10 out of 150. Oh, they moved it up from 100. But it's always good to have another one, especially considering that once you get material refinement, you're going to be swimming in resources. So it's good to have some warehouses free. Also makes um, obtaining resources to build things a lot easier when they're all centralized. So, anyways, they're getting that. The hospital will come along, and then you can assign a doctor. Anyways, so that's a pretty good introduction. I'm gonna leave it here, guys. I hope you enjoyed Universim. I'll try and see if I can get a few more episodes in before the next update, which makes all of this moot. But again, the link for Universim will be in the description. It's a great game. I encourage you to check it out, and look at what Crytivo is doing. They're a pretty good company. They send out really funny emails too. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed Universim. Make sure to subscribe. And until next time, this is Resler logging off.